Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Ty, the Spirit Messenger, and I'm having a conversation with Rob Comer today about my soul color signature. And he's been kind enough. He's also going to be sharing with us my husband's profile. We're going to be going over that to find out, I guess, in ways that we coincide or match. And maybe we'll even talk about maybe some of our opposing differences. And Rob's, you know, I'm a big fan, believer, and I'm constantly having conversations about our past lives. So he's already enticed me with this little bit of idea that he has evidence of our past lives, my husband and I, and maybe I'm excited to explore a little bit more about those. And this technology that he's going to be explaining to us and sharing with us, this is a Rob Comer creation, design, co-creation with the divine. This is Rob's gift to the world. So I'm going to pick his brain about how this came into being for him, and probably a little bit about that process, because I think whenever the divine asks us to create something new to the world, it can be a topsy-turvy experience. It's definitely a higher calling, and so I'm curious to see how that process felt and worked for him. It definitely looks like it's congruent to what he enjoys doing, and that's exciting because I always love seeing people show up passionate about their gifts, passionate about their services, and showing the world their light. So in essence, this is Rob's medicine as well, because he is going to be providing these signature profiles to the spirit messengers in training. We have collaborated, and the reason why I chose Rob, well, number one, I just freaking love Rob. I had a session with him like 6 months ago that was mind-blowing, and he really helped me to establish a connection with a whole new league of divine helpers, and those beings have been so instrumental and paramount in my growth for the last 6 or 7 months. And as soon as I had a sample or a taste of Rob's medicine, I was like, I think we're meant to work together. So I've asked him to help each one of my spirit messengers in training to better identify and have a sense of what their soul signature is. This is this unique frequency that every single individual has. And I think when you're becoming a spirit messenger, you're being called by the divine, and you're bringing forth something unique and special to this world. You can sometimes suffer from almost like copycat syndrome, or really shrinking back, because sometimes the missions are really big, and finding and celebrating our uniqueness, identifying it, like that can be kind of a topsy-turvy road, what I was talking about earlier. And I really hold the spirit messengers that are in training with me for that 7 months while they flex and fold through that process, because you really need someone that understands that process and can help you identify the gifts that maybe you don't see in yourself. And that's kind of part of my job, is being that really awesome cheerleader and validator to the spirit messengers that are coming through, and helping them see and understand their light. Because when it's inherently us, I think we don't often recognize it or celebrate it, some of those uniqueness things. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Rob so that he can better clarify who he is and why he's sitting here in front of us with this is my part of my color signature profile. So thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. I know you're a very busy guy, and I have so many questions about Sweden and why you're there and what it looks like, because I'm in Florida this time of year. But I'm going to pass the mic, and I just appreciate you. And yeah.
Wow, how beautiful. What a beautiful introduction. And yeah, thank you so much for this and everything that you do. And yeah, I think we both connected in such a special way going through that session. And I felt also super positive about doing this and connecting with you and building this relationship and seeing what you're doing for the collective. And for so many beings, you know, you're taking people through these real mastery steps for themselves. And for me, it's been you know, it can be that kind of lonely process because you do different modalities, or you try and follow your intuition, and so to have kind of somebody to lead you through all the dynamics to reach your own inner sort of strength and inner creativity is yeah, you're really offering a beautiful service. So thank you for that. And yeah, this is I'm super excited, but this is brand new. I say like technology because it's kind of I think I perhaps want to bring a different energy to the word technology, you know, as we are going into this advanced time on Earth, you know, almost kind of bringing back that sense of advanced consciousness and advancement in our lives. You know, these technologies that we have enable us to create such beautiful artwork like this. And so part of my medicine, as you beautifully put it, is to bring back the connection to color.
Nice.
And this all started really, as you say, very divinely. I've been working, as you know, creating sacred geometry and mandalas and channeling the energy. So it's been building over the last sort of 3 years of going into that and creating a healing modality.
Wow.
And then I wanted to find a process that was in a way that you could look at a piece of artwork and somehow all of that would resonate with you and would give you this instant ability to heal, to release, to activate, to expand your consciousness, to dive deeper into your own soul records. And there was like this longing for me to find. And I realized that this is the kind of technology that we had back in Atlantis and Lemuria. And the more I was looking at nature, the more I was realizing how powerful our eyes are. And you know, we've witnessed a lot of things through our eyes that have in a way closed our receptivity to color, to vision. And I wanted to bring that alive. So I always reference it like this, that when you see a beautiful sunset, instantly you're not thinking, you're very present, you're very in your body, you're grounded, you're very heart-centered, and all of your worries of the day almost just, you know, they just evaporate almost instantaneously through those beautiful colors of nature. And so I wanted to bring that essence into a project. And so numerology has always fascinated me. I feel like it's super strong right now as well. 2020, this kind of mirror numbering has really brought it out in me. And it's been very new for me. So this year I've been looking into numerology, but not too much, just finding out a little bit and then kind of allowing my own inner guidance to sort of, and my own meditations and the divine to kind of gift me what I need to know. And then also colors. So for me, I did a lot of healing at the beginning of this year about my inner child, about what is it that when I came into this world, what is it that I naturally felt resonant with? And for me, it was always color and drawing. So that's my natural thing, to be creative in that way. And so when I started to do that, I started to draw again, probably for the first time in many years. And diving deep into just creating, just because I could, you know, just bought a load of paints and pens and some blank paper and just started, you know, just doing it. And it brought so much joy through that. And then I wanted to, through that process of being in creative flow, it was just heart open, heart centered. And then this thing about, I wonder what the colors of me are, like whether it be my aura or my heart. I wonder what my soul colors are, like what are the colors that I came in with, you know. And then just pursuing that, holding that in my heart and in my awareness. This is where it started to birth. This technology. And the one thing that really anchored all of it was having the means to do it. So I really was desiring this iPad, and because I knew that there was a system on there that I could just start to draw digitally.
Mm.
And it was, you know, super expensive, and I was like, okay, like I need to save, and I was like, it's a luxury, do I really need it? But I had this
Mm.
desire to do it. And then as soon as I got this iPad, the freedom to create digitally gave me the means to anchor everything that I'd been
Wow.
feeling. And then within, to be honest, within 2 days,
Wow.
intense 2 days, I just was creating, downloading, anchoring, and then this whole system just birthed itself.
Love it.
So yeah, it's been a beautiful process. And so with you, with your beautiful students, I
Mm.
tweaked this to make it relevant to the chakras. So I called this one the chakra color signature.
Okay.
I wanted to do that because I really love to bring it back to the body, because
Mm.
sometimes when we're connecting to higher dimensional realms or high energies, there's that, we need to return it back to how is it useful to us in this reality,
Okay.
this dimension. So for me, I wanted to anchor it to the chakra system, and yeah, so this is your chakra color signature. So through the details of your name and your date of birth, I anchored from the divine was gifted this beautiful formula to work out these many patterns within your soul,
Mm.
which is super beautiful, super simple, but kind of complex at the same time. So yeah, so this is it. This is what you receive. So this is the final artwork, and I wanted it to be like it's an artwork, and it's also like a reading.
Mm.
And I'll show you the reading and the soul colors after. But it's so that you get gifted this artwork that you could look at every day. That it can be a
Mm.
screensaver, it can be on your phone, it can be printed on your wall, and just by looking at it, it's just anchoring more of your soul essence into
Mm.
this reality, and you have deeper understanding of yourself. So I'll go through it for you. And so the soul colors are on the background here, and then these lines is your soul signature.
Interesting.
And what's really awesome is that you can start to see the geometric patterns in your soul. And I mean, you have a triangle, which is super beautiful, which is actually fairly rare to get a full geometry shape. So very powerful in itself that you actually have a geometry of a triangle. So
You know, it's funny, just out of for sake of conversation and just validating a couple of things, if you don't mind. My initial impression. So my favorite number is actually 3 and 13. So the fact that the triangle shows up is it really resonates for me. And years ago, when I first started transmediumship channeling the divine, I had somebody take an aura photo of me while I was in trance, and these colors showed up. It looked like a rainbow almost in my energy field. So I'm just sharing. This is a really big validation for me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's what I feel like for me, a lot of my work is helping people connect the dots and bring them back into that sense of wholeness and, like you say, validation, and also open the door to any new avenues of like, oh, I didn't realize that yellow was part of my soul, and maybe you've always resonated with it, but now you understand. So yeah, so essentially we start at the bottom here. And it's very interesting because you actually have 3 points in one. So this is actually where we start. And this is the point of your inner child color. So your inner child color is green. And obviously with green, there's so much about color that you can really look it up and find out what resonates. But for me, it's really showing that you're coming in straight with the heart chakra, you know, like you came in as a child, super heart-centered and actually very balanced, and love being in nature. And it's all of those beautiful energies of green. And it doesn't have to be just these shades. It can be all that range of green, but it's really your inner child is happiest when you're eating greens. When you are connecting with, say, green crystals, or you wear green, it's bringing out your inner child energy. So whether that was that you were very playful, or very you loved reading, or whatever your inner child gifts are, or even healing for the inner child, being around green is going to amplify that energy.
Okay.
So what's super beautiful about that is that, say, if you really want to go into your inner child work, is that you can create a beautiful space for yourself and use green as a color tool to access that inner child self. So this is where we're actually able to use color. And also, you know, that for you, that the inner child, I mean, everything is of the heart, but the inner child is a direct portal from your heart chakra, especially for you. Some people, their inner child is in different spaces. So it's just what we came into this incarnation with. These are what the soul colors are. So we go from here, and the line goes up to here, and it's plotted, and in here is your spiritual gifts. So for you, your spiritual gifts are in the solar plexus area. So it's the yellow, which is the sun. You know, so the more, and yellow really, it can be, or the solar plexus, as we know, can almost be very golden, or it can be very white yellow, and it's that whole range. So, but it's really saying that to bring out your spiritual gifts is to the most natural form of yellow prana or energy is the sun. So it's
which I live in Florida, so I'm
Yeah.
just like 98%.
So yeah, so for you, you know, it's yeah, being in that beautiful, bright environment, and again for you, like accessing the solar plexus, making sure that that is in its best condition, regulated, balanced, and you know, it's going to blossom your spiritual gifts. So for you, being in your power, being in your integrity, being very proactive, all these kind of things that are linked to the solar plexus. But it's also a place, as we know, of where we receive disharmonious energies also as well. So for you to keep on top, or to keep blossoming your spiritual gifts, is to really regulate and clear constantly, as we know, because you're holding so much space for so many people. So it's yeah, so that's where your, you know, your birth of your spiritual gifts comes from, that powerhouse of your solar plexus. And then we go across into your go across that middle line into your mastery, and your mastery is actually in your indigo energy. So third eye. So it's all of that beautiful range of, you know, when we're going into that mysticism, you know, your mastery's in the, you know, it's in the skies, it's in the stars, it's in your perception, it's in your ability to see what others can't see. You know, and that's why you're training them to be able to see, to have their own gifts. So you're able to see beyond the belief patterns, beyond the boundaries that people have within themselves, and hold that space, and also for yourself. So for you, that psychic center of the third eye is where you are. This is your life path to master all of that in this life, is to really master that chakra, master that color. Yeah, I mean, indigo is very much linked to ceremonial energies, to magic, to devotion, to all of those high spiritual path, you know, of knowing how to hold space, knowing how to create a beautiful altar like you have behind you, all of those very subtle but most necessary things, you know, almost like a temple priestess, you know, it's you understand ritual and sacred ceremony, all these sort of things. So for you, that's where your mastery lies. That. And then we return back. So we return back to green, which is your soul color.
Okay.
So super interesting that your inner child and your soul color are both green. Now, when you get like a double color like that, it's really showing you that how potent that is in your life, and how important that is. So to access your soul is really accessing your inner child. Again, accessing your soul through the heart chakra is the quickest way for you. And it's, yeah, I think that when you feel balanced, for me, it must seem like when you feel balanced, you are super good. Like, no, we are all super good, but some people kind of quite like being a little bit ungrounded so they can go deeper into their spiritual realm. Some people like being very grounded so they don't go too far. So whereas, you know, when you're in that space of nature, abundance, balance, and your body's good, it's just like, yeah, it's like full, you're fully tapped into yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is what's beautiful. And then the last line that comes through, which is, this is super interesting when I was doing this, anchoring this for you, is you anchor your name. So your name has a color.
Okay.
And when I asked you to send me through your name, and you sent me through your full name, and I thought to myself, well, you promote yourself as
Ty.
so I was like, well, that's the name that really I should use, because that's showing, you know, with our, whatever name we put out is a certain energy.
Yes.
And so it would have been different had I done your full name. The color would have been different to what it is now.
Okay. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, what I loved about this was that your name came out as magenta. And we connected on the magenta rose energy. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, it's just super great. And obviously magenta is linked to the soul star chakra. So this is a 9 chakra system that I've put in, just to keep it like a bit more than the 7 chakra system. But so really the magenta color, I've linked this to the soul records. Is linked to being able to travel along the timeline. So in that sort of astral realm as such, or even the higher upper planes, your name gives you the ability to travel along a soul's timeline.
Wow. And I do that.
Yeah, so being able to go back into the past lives, and also being able to go into future projections. So your name really holds this gift of being able to rapidly change, because magenta is linked with rapid change.
Nice.
And it's your ability to be able to go across, you know, future and past, and also be very anchored in the present. So as I say, magenta is what I would class as one of the new earth colors that's really coming so strong. Yeah, it's a very important gift and color for us as we start to all access our soul colors and our soul records. So, and as you can see, the way in which the colors are in there, it's very absolutely perfectly balanced.
I was going to ask you that, if that was something that stood out to you, because that was something I definitely noticed. This kind of like 4 pieces of the pie or puzzle that seem almost like completely equal. We might have a little bit more magenta if we broke down the actual percentages, but I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And and also when we look into the balance colors, which we'll go into, is that you know, they very much are balancing each other. And yeah, so exactly, the soul says that green, or that sense of balance, or heart balancing above and below in the middle. This is really also highlighting in your colors that you're super balanced, and you're able to go into many things. So when you have lots of colors, it means you're able to, I mean, we're all able to go into many things, but you're naturally able to go into many different shades and facets of yourself, and explore. And that's probably why you ended up becoming a teacher of what you do, because you were interested in so many things.
Yeah.
And that's why you're bringing it all together. So
that annoyed a lot of people that wanted to mentor me. Just so you know. They wanted me to slow down and choose one thing, and I was like, I can't be stopped. I won't be stopped. And just one other thing, if you don't mind, my just validating something else about this. So when I do work with these spirit messengers in training, in that 7 months, we literally focus on healing them from past life pain and suffering that they may have endured, that would prohibit them or limit them or restrict them from being a spirit messenger and feeling comfortable and confident in this lifetime. And then my job is to help to align them to the divine's future projection, image, or possibility. And then I'm supposed to anchor that in the present now and help them create a trajectory line to map that. So that whole discussion about what the magenta, rose magenta capability allows for or signifies, that's literally the work that I'm doing. And I trust me, I apply it to myself as well. You know, I take all of my own medicine. I feel like it was given to me for a reason. And so I apply it to myself first before I take it out and aim to use it for someone else. And I have a whole other transformation that I offer, the Goddess transformation, where we take people healing their past life suffering and mapping them toward a better future version of themselves and really solidifying that in the now. So that definitely resonates for work that I've already been feeling called to do. And you just really gave me a great way to understand why I love it so much, and it comes easily to me.
Perfect. Yeah. And that's, thank you for sharing that. It's so beautiful. And so this is where, like, for example, let's say now when you go into your past lives for yourself, or when you're going into someone else's, you could use the energy or call upon the energy of magenta to assist you in that. So just surrounding yourself in magenta will automatically bring this energy of being able to go through timelines so much quicker.
Wow. Okay.
And as I say, like going into your inner child, just surround yourself in a green aura, or go into the heart chakra or whatever. So these are like super fast tools. And so for me, it's about how do we...
I love Rob tips.
Be so efficient in our, how do we become more efficient in our healing? And, you know, we're in a very fast world, and we often maybe get like an hour a day to decompress, or to kind of like just find where we're at. So by using color and understanding which, how that works with us and which chakra exactly, it's a very pinpoint and fast way of working. So that for me is the future of healing work and understanding. So
nice. And one last thing about the indigo color, this purple color. I have recently started ordaining other interfaith ministers. So it just, again, like embodies what the whole ceremony and the sacredness of doing this work and the mastery level. I was like, that's why I love that so much. So.
And mastery is normally the one that you've been doing for, you know, that you already have done many eons, you know, for many eons, that you understand it without even understanding, you know, it's like you naturally just, it's your calling, you know, like saying ceremonial space and anointments and all that kind of blessings. It's just the makeup of who you are. And this lifetime is allowing you to continue that mastery. So I'll show you, I'll share the screen for, here we go. Let me just get the next image up. Okay, coming back. Okay. So there you go. Okay, great. So this is the added aspect that you get to the artwork.
Okay.
This is the breakdown of your artwork. So because the artwork in itself is just, you know, when you connect through the heart, you don't really need the breakdown. It's just you receive it, you work with it. But as we are going into this mastery steps of understanding color and how we can use them, this is why I do the breakdown for it. So you can see very, very easily their name color, the magenta, the inner child is the green, the spiritual gifts is the solar plexus or the yellow, the mastery color, the soul color. And what I've done here is actually, there's a color for your age. Okay. So it's your current age. And for you, it's the violet energy that you are in this year. Wow. And each year it changes. But it really starts to give you an idea of how your year is going to be, or how your year is. And for you, as we know, it's alchemy, transmutation, full shifting, full opening of the crown, full acceleration. Anything that can't be in your sphere is just being burnt up in the violet flame. It's like very, it's a full-on year for you.
And it has been since my birthday in March. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of my light worker friends, you might be seeing this too. A lot of our light worker friends are feeling called to kind of cocoon, retract or receive this year. And I have been out there doing the shift like it's a shift parade.
Exactly. So by knowing that, again, like if you're going through this sense of like, wow, you're really going through it, by knowing your transition year, your age color is, you can again invoke that. Again, you can invoke the angels that are linked to violet energy that they're learning through your course. So, you know, maybe it's like Archangel Zadkiel or Holy Amethyst to support you. And knowing that, because sometimes you're like, wow, this year is really tough or really brutal, or like, wow, it's really transformative. And when you understand the color of your year, it's like, well, I know I'm in a violet year, so of course it's going to be very crown activating. You may feel a bit ungrounded, but things are really shifting. So there's all of those elements in your understanding.
And this year I've worked with my dragon more than any other year, which is part of the lilac ray as well. So that's, and that Beth, the dragon, said that their focus is like transmutation. So it makes sense that, to me, it makes sense that this would be the year that we'd really solidify working together.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, that's the transition age. And then what I did, I put in 3 balanced colors.
Okay.
Because balanced colors are that, they're in conjunction with the inner child color, the spiritual gifts, and the mastery. So they're the balance of those. And the reason why I put that in is because sometimes each day and each month also has a color. Each year has a color. I mean, I'm really anchoring all of this where we can pinpoint it to the days, the months, the years, and track forwards and backwards, all the way back to our birth, and we know what color year our birth was, and all the way forward into our future trajectory. So it's a real, yeah, I'm just anchoring that at the moment. And so sometimes, like for you, where you've got a double green, and I'll just jump down here a little bit where it says current year. So this year, current year color is green also. So that's a triple green for you.
Wow. Okay.
So sometimes with color, it also goes the other way. So when you're too much in the green energy, it can actually destabilize you.
Gotcha.
So when, and you may, let's say like there's a green day and a green month on a green year, and you've got 2 colors in green, like that day, like you're going to be feeling very different.
All the feelings, probably.
So it's like how, even if you go to green and you're feeling like, wow, it's not working, like I feel really out of sorts, what helps green? So this is why I put the balance color for green as gold. And super interesting that your name is gold.
Right.
So it's like gold for you is and gold and green are almost, how do I say, like the emerald color and gold are, for me, run side by side. They're almost like the same, because green we know is very much healing and Raphael and all that kind of energy. But in a way, when you see sometimes like Raphael, it's also gold comes as well with green. You know, it's like, for me, they run side by side. So yeah, you can go into gold energy to help balance you. And again, you can use magenta. Funnily enough, magenta is one of your balance colors. And very, very interesting that red came through for you as a balance color. And in a way, you know, you're working with very high energies. And when it came through, and I was like, wow, actually, it's just a reminder to say that, you know, when we're in that high energy all the time, it's just to come back, revisit that root, just find, you know, just be there. And again, you know, the rose energy is very strong with you, and you know, red rose energy. So yeah, that was another one of yours. And I also put in here just the guardian angel, you know, color. So again, for you, it's really, for me, the green on the green ray is Raphael and Mother Mary. They seem like the 2 divine complements to me on that range, but I just put in their guardian angel. It could be however you perceive, but again, if you just call upon your guardian angel, maybe visualize the green energy coming around you and supporting you, it gives you that another aspect to your sort of guardian angel. And
Love
again,
it.
that's why you do your training for them to tap into that. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's
Awesome.
it's fairly comprehensive, and but super easy to understand. And again, it's a way for you to, it's an introduction to color. And so you can really go into researching the flowers, the crystals that are these colors, the clothes that you wear, the candles that you buy. Like, you start to understand like everything, the paint color that you have in your room, the flowers, all these things. It's really you understand how to tie it all in to yourself. And it's a beautiful, beautiful way to live, and a beautiful way to learn about yourself.
I love this. I think I'm going to probably start to implement the magenta ray more, but definitely the green. Since I was little, I've always had either a bedroom or a living room that was in some way green, because it's like a comfort feeling for me. So now it makes sense, I think, why.
Exactly. So I will, what I'll do is I'll show you Riley's one as a different artwork. And then I'm just going to show you how you two intersect, and just go into that. So exciting. Yeah, it's when it came through, like all of this work, it's just, it's such a joy. And I think that's so important when it comes to your spiritual work. It's like you do it because you love it. And and in a way, when we all try to carve a career, or how do we make a living at this, and all these sort of things, for me, it's really, as you probably say to your students, do what makes you the happiest.
Yes.
And what happened after that was, then this technology came, and then the abundance came as a byproduct of this. And so for me, it's just so beautiful that way, that really you do get rewarded by yourself, by the universe, by your higher self, saying, just follow your heart, do what you love and what you really love. I mean, for me, color is just, my life is all about color. It's just, how do I use it? I love adapting color for me to dive deeper into myself, and for healing for my clients. So as you can see here, for Riley's one, very, very different to yours.
So different.
Yeah, super different. And great, because it really shows the diversity and why you two complement each other. And
well, I think you're going to help us understand that part.
Yeah. So with Riley, like for the inner child color, it starts here, and the inner child color is the sacral, is orange. And orange really, for me, is about life force energy. It's about play. It's about creativity. It's also very much connected to the sun. It's the sacral, it's all of those things, masculine and feminine balance and creativity. It's very high energy. So that's where we are looking to, once we lift our sort of Kundalini energy into the sacral, that's where it really starts to fire up in our energy systems. So again, inner child, about play, about creativity, and hey.
Sorry.
And and so again, very interestingly, that also Riley's spiritual gifts are also in the sacral. So that's a double sacral energy, a double orange energy. So this is where you see the potency of this color and how it can work. And we're in that autumn season now as well. And so when the leaves start to turn into that sort of burnt orange color, and again, when it comes to candles and fire, you see those orange energies available. So this is where I always say to people, look out for where you can find these colors in nature and in your natural day. Starting a fire is very orange prana. And again, things like coffee, for example, coffee is orange energy. So it's like there's simple signs that we have in our everyday life that we can utilize, you know, and maybe Riley enjoys a coffee, who knows?
He does, actually.
Yeah, great.
I only got a taste for it since I came to the US, but I do enjoy it now.
Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, so we have inner child color, spiritual gifts color, and then when we go into the mastery color, we're actually going all the way over into the violet ray. And it's really the mastery. Again, it's about alchemy. It's about the crown. It's about receiving, really tapping into the subtle realms, the celestial realms, you know. So for Riley to really meditate on like opening that crown and receiving from the realms that probably maybe many find it difficult to, or many don't believe. Like for Riley, actually, it's actually very easy for him to receive information into his soul through the crown, and bring him through all of the mastery steps and his remembrance. So, and again, obviously it's connected to the violet flame. So he's a very high processor in transmutation. And, but in the opposite way that he's also, because he's a high capacity being of transmutation, that he will also take on the energies of others. So this is where let's say this creativity or the sacral area can be very much affected when too much transmutation is taking place. So it's really about, or overloaded, overstimulated by too much meditation or too much connection to the divine. So that's it's a one to balance. That's why it's your mastery. Your mastery step to balance how much you receive from the higher realms and how much you activate yourself to how much you are in your human creativity and flow. So yeah, you're kind of either end of the spectrum in a way, which is great. It brings a lot of diversity. And say the orange and violet are the two balanced colors. So they balance each other out. So, wow. So you're either end, but it's great because almost in a way, if you do topple over either way, you use the other color just to bring yourself back very quickly. So if you find yourself too activated, take yourself down into the sacral and into the orange energy. If you find yourself like that you're creative, but you're just missing the inspiration, take yourself up into the crown and connect with the celestial realm. So you can really play, and this is what I love about this, something so simple, so beautiful. You can just master your body, your celestial subtle realms. And then when we came through, we had, oh yeah, and then we came back, so your soul color was also orange, sacral. Okay. You have a triple sacral, like orange energy. So, I mean, I would say probably you're naturally a generator of creativity.
He calls himself the artist.
Well, you just have, you know, and when it's like something like a triple, it's showing you that when you're in your inner child, your spiritual gifts and your soul color, like you're potentizing everything you do, like ×3. Like, you know, movement to you, like being able to be in flow, in masculine and feminine balance, to like these things in the sacral, your waters, your emotional body. For you is like when you tap into that and you're balanced in your waters, then you are like flying, like potentizing, like over and over again. And so this is why you have this beautiful conjunction here of you go out here. And again, you've also got a triangle.
Yeah, I saw that. That was the first thing I saw.
Which is, again, honestly, like I can't tell you how it's not that common to get a full geometry. So you both have triangles, which is like, again, it's just, I love how these things just come out. And then finally for your name, Riley, it's in the solar plexus. It's in this area here. This is where you get the sun. So your name, and funnily enough, it's obviously ending in gold. It's that your name brings the power forward. It brings your ability to manifest all of that creativity and all of that higher awareness. Your name, by using your name and really, how do I say, being fully healed in your name, fully embracing your name and what it means and loving your name. It gives you the confidence to step out and be seen and to put all of your creativity out there. So it's, you've got beautiful, it's, essentially it's 3 main chakras that you're working with. And so again, when you know that, it's really what you can tap into and utilize. And again, obviously the sun, again, that's why you're in Florida with Ty. And so yellow energy is bringing your powers, bringing you all of that creativity into the manifest world. So it's super beautiful to just read it like this way. And obviously I'm reading it in a quite, this technology is very advanced way, but it's just showing your beautiful students like how we can do it, how we can use color and all of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay yours and Riley's soul signatures, and then we'll just talk about that, and then we'll be good. But
I'm curious what, and I don't know if this is something you can explain to me, how my triangle ended up down at the bottom and his is halfway through. What is there a certain piece of information that you translate into where that geometry is defined or laid out?
Yeah, so so what I do is it's kind of how do I say, it's quite technical to discuss, but it's essentially like I plot like a graph. So you'll see, for example, like down here is where the green energy is anchored. So and obviously where you see that point coming in, that's where the indigo energy is anchored. So it's basically like when I do the formula, or when the formula put the information into the formula, it works out, and I plot the graph. And then when I plot the graph, it comes out in that signature, whatever it is. So in here, you can see where you two are very interestingly, you're very almost like mirrored in a way. Like you both have that straight line straight across, and then you both have almost like a downward facing kind of triangle. And so what I wrote some notes about you guys, because it's super interesting, because you can put again, you can add in a pet, you can add in a child, you can add in your family, you can have like 4 or 5 people, like any more than that and it can get pretty messy, but yeah, or like yourselves, you can just bring, you can bring a partner in, and you can see where you cross and what you're linked with. So what did I put down for you? I put in there that yes, so Ty, so your conjunction here in the solar plexus was your spiritual gifts. It's connected to Riley's name. So basically, in a way that through your spiritual gifts are being activated through Riley's name, and Riley's name is activating your spiritual gifts. So you both are, that's where you're at a beautiful connection, and you meet in the sun.
Nice.
Which is where you live.
So, we definitely did meet in the sun.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful way to see that actually Riley and who he is. I mean, his name stands for a certain energy.
Yeah.
Is going to help. It helps brings out your spiritual gifts.
And I can testify that that's happened.
Yeah. So this is where that's really good. And then this line that's going up here from you, Ty, you see that it crosses over 2 lines of Riley's. So this is your name line that's going all the way up to the magenta energy. So it's from the heart through to the soul star chakra. And it actually crosses Riley's mastery line, which is this one, and his soul line.
Wow.
Now, when you cross a soul line, it means that you've had a past life together or past lives together. And so the thing is, I've asked many, many times at the moment of, can it tell me yet, like how many past lives and how does it work? But for me, it's like, well, you need to feel it into it for yourself. So whether it's a dowsing or whether it's asking the question, like just asking the higher self or your angels, just you know that it's confirmed that you have like a validation. And because it's on your name line, I feel like this name gold, which maybe it's the ray that you both work with, the gold ray, or but your names have significantly been intertwined in past lives. And also your name, Ty, the power of your name and your gifts is where Riley's mastery starts to blossom. So it's such a beautiful complement. Spiritual gifts blossom through his name, and through your name, his mastery gets anchored.
Nice.
So you both of you guys are really fully helping each other, and beautiful compliments to each other. And but yeah, this conjunction here in the name, and when you look at the color that you are going in at, it's on that violet ray. So between the indigo here and the magenta, you've got that violet energy, which is one of Riley's colors. So it's like you two are beautifully connected in that violet ray energy also.
Wow.
So it's just super fun how when you overlay graphs and what and why, and you start to understand that, for example, like if you're helping Riley with mastery, in a way that can bring up a lot of triggers, because the keys and codes that you have are forcing him into mastery. But it's in one way because also you're connected, your name connects on the soul line. He understands that it's for the highest good, and so he sees you soul to soul, and so there's less triggers. But it's like, and you may get that energy of like, I don't want you to be my teacher, I don't want you to be my healer, but naturally your name and your being is teaching him and up leveling him into and empowering him into his mastery. And then the same way that his name is holding the space and showing you that your spirit is safe to embrace your spiritual gifts, and to his keys and codes allow you to dive deeper into your gifts. So yeah, so much to share. And but do you guys have any questions?
Go ahead, Riley.
Well, it wasn't really a question, but it was a commentary on, so I don't know, you probably don't know this about me, Rob, because we haven't known each other very long, but I'm transgender, so I actually got to choose my name. So it's very interesting to me that the name that I've chosen actually ends up kind of falling in that like yellow and kind of gold space, and that it's such like an empowering name, because like, I had the opportunity, which many people do, but don't often change their names. But I had the opportunity to actually choose, who I wanted to be and what I wanted it to represent. So that was just really interesting to me to note that in the color profile.
You were born gold, though.
Yes, I was born gold. Yes.
So it's great. And our name, like for me, and part of my work is to help people with their names, and there's a lot of healing that we need to do over our names, and but I love the fact that this conscious choice is like reflected in these soul colors, and it's super empowering, like these simple things of color. And I'm so pleased that I'm happy to share this with you, and validation for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And the divine has told us that we're twin flames. So I even love the fact that the geometry shows this mirror image. And I've received a lot of downloads about our past lives together. So you're definitely, the artwork or your translation of it is spot on there. And I definitely do probably nudge, push, trigger him into mastery and kind of empower him to his next level of being. And we only got married, was it March 2019, honey? And
last year.
because we were in the hospital with my son and he was receiving support for cancer, I didn't get to change my name, do the name change officially for a while. And I'm telling you, the alchemization, I can pinpoint it when that showed up. And the business, this is where the training actually came into existence and became solidified.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's yeah, that resonance of where you're both working on that ray and flame, and same chakras are aligning, and yeah, that's why I love the fact that when you do have two people, I mean, it's good to have your own one, but when you overlay them, especially with like your family and partners and things like that, it's like, or children, you're like, wow, like it's very, very powerful, and it brings that unification.
So I do numerology, just
yeah,
professional chat here. I do numerology for people and I love to compare them with their family members. But the other thing that I've done is comparison with their business. And because the way I see it is a lot of times people can show up and grow up next alongside their business, or a lot of times they're in a combative role with their business. And so I'm just curious if that's something that could be done with this kind of system. If you had the name and the like conception date of a business, if you could create something that showed the design of that with the human body that's bringing it into the world.
Yeah, absolutely. A great question. Thank you for bringing that up, because part of the future trajectory of this is to help businesses and also go into the corporate world, so that we are actually giving companies more understanding of the subtle realms and color and how it works. That kind of the stereotypical description of corporate world is very black and white, and dark colors, and then just white. There's in the office space to bring out creativity, to bring out soul connection, in those worlds. So yeah, absolutely, like business names, business colors, and I always say that, for example, like if you know these colors, if you use these in your page, your website, your business profile, then it matches you, because it is you. So
that's funny.
A lot of the time is that we see somebody's logo and then we may see them, and they seem like two different energies.
Yeah.
And so with this, it's like, oh, like, I mean, for me, when I see you, Ty, it's like, naturally, I always see you as magenta energy. I mean, I know we're connected in that way, but
yeah, sure.
I just saw magenta aura around you and just knew that was that. And so then when this came out, I was like, wow, yes. So when people see your colors, like your logo, your page, your designs, and then they see you in person or you're alongside it, it resonates. It's like it's who they are.
So just to validate that for you, so Riley's my web designer, and he recently revamped my website. When Noah was being treated with cancer last year, I just asked Riley to turn all the whole website, just make it black with gold font, because I just wanted it to be, I don't know, I just wanted like this blank slate. And we hired someone this year to help us with the business. And when he went to the website, he was like, what is all this black, Ty? This is not you. And so one of Riley's ability is to be an intuitive artist and an intuitive creator. So he meditated and tapped into me and the business. And my whole redesign of my website is gold, green, purple. Do you have magenta on the website, honey?
I don't think so, because it's quite a strikingly different color to the other three. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. That also, your website is literally green, purple, and gold, and those are your main colors. So as soon as I saw her profile come up on screen, I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because we literally just rebranded Messengers of Spirit like that, and I feel like it's just had such a different, much more powerful energy, and I can just really feel the direction of the business has really come into its own, and it's really it's a lot more focused and honed and intentional, and it's just it's going from success to success since we started to make these changes. So it was really
Yeah, it's
interesting
easy
to
to sign clients up now. Here, I'm just going to show because
oh yeah, bring it up on screen.
Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Hold on a second.
Oh, do you want me to stop the share and then maybe you can?
Maybe. I'm going to continue.
Maybe you can access now. Yeah, well, I think today's been super beautiful because it's just so many validations on so many levels, and it's oh, beautiful, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so it's yeah, there's so many, but yeah, exactly. Like for example, like the name of your business will have a color.
Yeah.
You know, so even like it's been super insightful for me. So celebrities, like knowing certain celebrities' colors, or you know, but beautiful beings that are doing great work, and like Mother Teresa, for example. Like when I see her soul colors, it was like fascinating. And
wow.
like I released one about Princess Diana, and looking at her soul colors, and it really is so interesting because all of the traits of those colors, like that, you see it in human form. And so yeah, so the name of the business has a color, has a resonance, and you know, as we know, everything that we do has a frequency, a resonance about it. And for me, this beautiful gift, this gifted technology is giving people how to relate it through color. So it's yeah, it's kind of taken inspiration from numerology, although I'm developing something new with numerology. I found that there were some how do I say, gaps in a way, like that haven't not to my knowledge haven't been explored yet. So I'm looking in a way to update numerology in a way that which is giving some very, very beautiful and interesting results.
Nice. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like do that, and also color therapy. You know, like it's interesting how that, as we know, that the seven chakra system, which you know we've all kind of we first connect with, and then we realize that different systems and more celestial systems, and you know, I mean, there's, you know, in my other work, there's like 22 different energy centers that I'm working with, so 22 different colors and different combinations, and it can go very, very advanced. But I feel that color therapy also needs to, or I'm looking to increase that spectrum. And you know, because there's, you know, now we're working with very beautiful subtle colors like peach and lilac and things like that. So I want to start to bring that more into the collective awareness.
I love that.
And in a way update the color therapy to these frequencies, because as we know, like in a way, the more subtle a color is, we say it's getting closer to the clear light of God, clear light of soul. So it's almost like you know, the more sort of white and bright and etheric they get, in a way they are kind of more advanced rays and more advanced energies. So so yeah, it's taken all of that inspiration, and I'm just super grateful to, you know, to my higher self and the things that have happened, you know, all of the work in Atlantis and the temples of color that I managed to trace my soul timeline back to and reawaken these gifts. And all I would say is to people that are like doing your training, for example, like the best thing you can do is invest in yourself. You know, it really, really is. And you know, the mind can get involved of, you know, maybe I shouldn't spend this on myself. Maybe I shouldn't spend so much time tapping into who I am and my angelic beings and my colors. But it really changes your entire life. And it's, yeah, for me, the more that I've done this work and been on this path, it's just brought more and more fruits, and this whole technology and a whole healing modality has come from that. So so yeah, some of my advice for the people that are doing the training, just really keep diving deep into it, and you know, all of your gifts, all of it is there, just waiting for you to access it. And And, you know, I never knew this was going to happen and I'd be doing this color work, and it just happened, accessing it, and great divine timing. And yeah, feeling so blessed to share it with you and all of the beautiful work you're doing. So
thank you. And I really appreciate you saying that. It's a wonderful, excellent point. And, you know, this all started out with the idea that I wanted people to be more self-aware and intuitively guided. Because this was kind of I literally saw in the spiritual community almost like what felt like to me like an energetic car crash, in people being maybe like in love with the mysticism, but having like this big like gap or blind spot in their own self-awareness and growth, or and not being able to get and tune in and get guidance for themselves. And as you know, and as I know, the more you're able to tune in and get that guidance for yourselves, you are able to tap into past lives. You are able to access different technologies, and you don't need the constant support of someone else. So this is a, you know, a personal development and a process as well as a professional one, but it's to allow you to become so much more self-guided. I'm sure that you can go long spans of time without actually signing on for anyone else's support now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, you know, very much like yourself, like there's some people that I feel very called to, and just, you know, there'll be a situation that I'm in and I'm like, I feel very guided to, it's just, you know, instantly.
Mm-hmm.
You just see them, you know it, and you take action and do it, and it's always worked out so well for me. But as you say, when you start to deepen into the process, it's you, your spirit, your higher self, it's your guides, your team, all these things, and it's very opulent. And you know, the one thing I will say about all of this is that for me, my entire awakening up to this point has been like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
it's not been very long. Like it's
Wow.
been super fast.
Wow. I don't think I knew that yet.
No. But it's really interesting. I mean, you know, the divine timing of it all, but I went from, you know, I really didn't believe in anything. I just was, you know, I just was living life and doing my thing. And, you know, after that kind of awakening, it's been super intense. And, you know, I've also been in university with the universe every day. You know, as soon as I had that awakening, I just loved tapping into that space, to me, to the subtle realms, and now it's just, you know, it is my life. You know, it's everything is ceremony, everything is spiritual, everything is in conjunction with all of that realm. You know, whereas before it was like once a night, you know, an hour meditation. Now it's just, there's nothing that's not the divine. You know, it's a big shift in that 3 years. And when you align your life to that, this is why these beautiful gifts, I mean, this really is a spontaneous, divinely given gift that I'm able to then share with people, and create a life through that also. Which is, like I said, mentally I could never have dreamt that. It was just all just heart and connecting in and dedicating to myself and to wanting to be in service, and just following the heart. So yeah, it's been 3 years, but
congratulations.
The promise of you don't have to be in the game for 25 years to be able to access this. It's just, you know, it's just dive deep and hold yourself in that space of unconditional love in the heart, and so many fruits are there awaiting to be you know, they're ripe. We're open ready at this time on earth to for all these beautiful beings to step forward, so.
Well, I'm so grateful that we're collaborating together. We even have some special clients I'm going to be sending your way from the training for that other type of session that I was able to explore with you. So we'll meet up at some point to kind of get those on the calendar and get those. I'm excited for their one-to-one experience with you, where you're able to chaperone them into another realm, which is a whole other conversation of one of your specialty and expertise areas, which I have a whole other log of questions about, like, how long have you been doing that? How did that come to you? But I think I know or understand from watching you for a while, you kind of go out into the nature, the woods, the forest, and you receive a lot of downloads. And it seems like your capacity to hold volumes and volumes of these channelings or guidance, my hat goes off to you. I really feel like in our society, like in today's world, like we're inundated with massive amounts of distractions and information and people's stuff, for you to be able to kind of like remain faithful to the process, and then like holding these different volumes. I don't know what else to call them, and I don't mean them any disrespect, but I almost imagine them being almost like a folder of information and guidance that you feel, you know, led to provide to each person that you have a one-on-one with. It's mind-blowing to me. And I don't know, how many modules do you have for that at this point? Is it like 20?
Yeah, so 22 modules, and it's...
I'm not paying any attention over here, can you tell?
Yeah, 22 modules, and it's, yeah, that baby's just growing in its own thing, you know. But I will say this, though, with that, it was, as you know, the mandalas were the first part of it, the key, the geometry. And so all I knew was I had to just draw what I was seeing. I didn't know why. I didn't have any reason about it. I didn't question it. The guidance was draw what you are seeing. And so that's, you know, the first 2.5 years was like just kind of thinking, oh, maybe this is kind of this thing, and I just kept going. And then before I knew it, it turned into this whole ability to guide consciousness and do all these things. And
I'm a fan.
So it just, yeah, it just morphed itself. So just as I say, for me, the advice is just, you know, it's just follow that beautiful intuition that you have. It's your golden compass to your heart and to your soul, and yeah, don't question. But yeah, like you said, for me, nature's like, it is the color of our inspiration. You know, it's geometry. Everything you look at in nature is geometry and color. And that's why, you know, super blessed to be here in, I always call it Sweet Eden.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it feels like, it feels very, very beautiful, the land here in this Garden of Eden here. And again, a very divinely guided exploration to come here. But the one thing that supported me the whole way through is when you have beautiful beings around you. And, you know, I'm very, very blessed to have met my spiritual mother very early on in my awakening. She gave me my awakening back.
Wow. And
then we found out that we've been, she's been my guide, and I've been her guide for every single past life.
Oh, wow.
So she's
what
like
a comfort.
Yeah, like my mission buddy. And so to have that, and to have some soul family, and now I'm here in Sweden with a beautiful beloved, and it's by having key people, a bit like Riley for you and you for Riley. It's like when you have just one person or two people even that are key to, that are on your wavelength, that allow you to be yourself, that support you in all of the craziness that it doesn't matter what you say, that they're just like, wow, just okay, keep going and holding the space for you. Yeah, I've been super, super blessed in that way also, and obviously meeting soul family like yourself. And when I first connected with you, I was just like, wow, like if you were next door to me, we'd be definitely hanging out a lot. So
same. I said that to my husband. I was like, I really can envision myself hanging out with Rob. And then I thought we were going to be within 20-ish, 30 minutes of your place in England, and then you left, and I was like, I guess now we're going to Sweden. I'm
actually thinking I'd rather go to Florida. Yeah. But yeah, it's, yeah, thank you for this. And
sure.
For you know, it's the first time also that I've explained this in
Good.
this way, and I feel like it's now being birthed into the collective. I just hope this is the catalyst to start to, bring forward this gift more so.
Awesome. Wow, thank you for your time. I'm excited to sign up more Spirit Messengers in training. We're enrolling. I close the doors when the divine tells me to, but we're gonna start the second round. So I have a second group going right now in mid-November. So
and with that, they receiving one of these the artwork and the breakdown, and you know, I just think that there's you know, what you're doing and what you're providing, and then also the fact that they are receiving this gift. It's very comprehensive, you know, on all these different angles. I mean, they're just going to know so much about themselves. It's really giving them that empowerment to be on the path and to be successful. I think you know, it's about helping, as you say, helping other beings be successful in this work and this way of doing so. Yeah.
And you know, for all the green that's in my chart, this is one of my heart gifts to the Spirit Messengers in training, and then also humanity and walking beside you and being like, this is something you've got to check out. So even if somebody doesn't sign up for my Spirit Messenger training and have the opportunity to explore the profile that we saw with you today, you have another soul color. So help me with the
so I have
color signature profile. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's two versions. The one that I did with you and your students, actually a completely bespoke new tier version. Like I said, because I wanted it to relate to the chakra system and give them an embodied way to work. And because, you know, as we know, you know, that the divine and what we're working with now is about embodiment. You know, it's about going into those realms and bringing it back to make a difference. So, but yeah, the soul color signature, which is the original birthing, it's really working with over 15 different rays and colors. So it's very ethereal. It's very much connected to star families and the very deeper essence of those things, like celestial realms and angelic realms, and you know, the extra chakra systems that are coming on board, the other auric bodies. And so it's kind of it's a different being. It's its own being.
Well, I'm going to make sure to post all your links for everybody who's watching this replay version, and that way they can find you and explore all the different ways of working with you. And I'm excited. I think the next module that I'm going to explore with you one-on-one might be the Elven one.
Well, that's super interesting, because here in Sweden,
it's the place for that.
Wow. I mean, it's been, I took the mandala outside in the forest, and it was so resonant, the greens and the yellows, and it takes you to Andromeda. So super interesting that, I mean, Andromeda, again, for me, is becoming in super potent right now as a sister galaxy for us to connect with more and more. And I will tell you this, that grandmother Anna is from Andromeda. So that kind of energy and resonance as one of an Andromedan being. And it's super heart, super expansive. And the Elven Mandala is it's a sort of a celestial way of soul retrieval.
I'm excited then.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful journey. Very, very just, I mean, the Elven and the fairy and the forests and the lands like that, and the magic of those you know, those realms are, it's all around me here, and you're more than welcome to come to Sweden for sure. So
well, thank you for anchoring so much of that light and so much of that magic in the here and now, and creating a way and a process to help people integrate and understand it and to really activate it. Because someone could say that a lot of these beings and this exploration could have been gone by the wayside or lost through generations of people not honoring, celebrating, or respecting or remembering. And I love you being almost like this historian of light, also a healer while you're doing it, but you're just activating in the awareness, the remembrance, the opportunity. And it feels like it's so intertwined with the like galactic support, you know, that we have, and the celestial support that we have. And I'm so excited about us working together and you just being in my life, in my sphere, and what you offer. So I'll be in touch soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you
You're
for this
welcome.
opportunity. And yeah, so much love to you and your students, to Riley and yourself. It's just, yeah, a great, beautiful co-creation. That's what I feel like New Earth is about. And we're doing it, we're anchoring it, embodying it. And yeah, so many blessings. And I so look forward to doing all of these beautiful pieces of artwork for your students as well. It's going to be, it's going to really gift you and them this way of accessing these soul timelines, like really, really beautifully.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to talking to you too soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So much love. Okay, take
Bye.
care.
Hey there, this is Ty, the Spirit Messenger. Thank you so much for checking out this video. And if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, or perhaps even share this video with a friend. And if you're looking for more teaching tips, healing, or guided meditation videos, be sure to check back and see what else I have as we upload twice a week. And one other thing, if you think that you would like to hang out with me and some of my most magical friends, please come check us out on Facebook at the Be Your Own Guru community. Take care, have fun, much love, bye-bye.